All right. Well, Rob, yesterday, I really enjoyed yesterday afternoon. I just kind of chilled, man, and watched basketball, and great game. ESPN had two really good games. I mean, the Brooklyn Miami game lost some steam when obviously KD got hurt, yeah, and it lost some steam, and Jimmy Butler wasn't playing. Again, just one of those big matchups you're looking forward to, and then the stars aren't there. But New York, New Orleans was the early game at 1 Eastern, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm going to say this, Rob. Now, look, I would take Zion over Julius Randle, but yesterday I thought Julius Randle outplayed Zion.
He's had a really good year.
He's a legitimate all-star player. Not a future Laker, but a former Laker, Rob G. How you like that?
That's right, Rob G. I was going to say, how you like those apples?
Right,
Are you mad? You got your panties in a bunch because the guy you had
No, because we developed him and we let him grow, like a beautiful butterfly.
No,
okay?
New Orleans did that.
No, that's a lie.
Now, y'all helped a little. And then New Orleans, he really blossomed even more. He played well with y'all toward the end. But anyway, look, Zion shot a better percentage. Randall was only 11 for 28. But the thing you saw,
11 for 28 ain't pretty.
That ain't good. But he had 33 points, 10 dimes, 5 steals, Rob, and 5 rebounds. The thing about Randall, though, that differentiated him from Zion is that Randall's jumper. Like you could see he had the J. He wasn't always going to the rack, whereas Zion was killing him inside. But he did all of his damage in the paint pretty much at the basket. But anyway, really good game. The Knicks ended up winning. That's really why Randall won the matchup. But they won 122-112.
It's funny. It's about winning, Chris, isn't it?
It is about winning. You play to win the game, I heard somebody say once.
I'm just curious.
After the game, Rob, and Stan Van Gundy went off on his team. And Stan, look, I think Stan's he was a good coach in Miami, but Pat Riley came in and got him over the hump. He was a good coach in Orlando, got him to the finals. Obviously, Detroit, it was bad.
Disaster, right?
That was a disaster. And here he is here, and it ain't looking that great, Rob. I mean, they got some talent. I know it's the West, and the West is deep, right?
I didn't think that they would be this bad. The NBA wants them so desperately to be in the mix.
They created the play-in for them.
Right. For them.
It should be called the New Orleans Pelicans play-in game.
Yep. Everybody knew that when they said, oh, no, in the West, we'll bring 10 teams, right?
Right.
Oh, no.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
We'll bring more teams because they wanted to get them in. And if you remember last year, Chris, they lost game 1. You remember the first game they played, and that was almost like, uh-oh.
Yep.
They almost got sunk after that. And they had an easy schedule, if you remember, as well. But, I didn't expect – I wanted to ask – we were so caught up on talking to Antonio. Yeah, about Zion that I was going to ask him what's happening with that team. And I don't know.
I know we talked to him once about that, and he said the youth. And he's not going to crush Stan because he's a broadcaster.
I get that, but I'm just trying to figure out. I thought they would be better.
They should be better, man.
Right? They should be better. That's all. I'm not saying
simple as that.
They should be
You got two all-stars.
Right.
Ingram and Zion, and Lonzo has had improved. Josh Hart's a good role player. Got some good role players. But anyway, after the game is when the real fireworks started, even though it was a good game. And Zion, of course, was asked about, it was his first game, Rob, in the Mecca in Madison Square Garden.
Chris and I both covered the Knicks in our day. That was our workplace, Madison Square Garden. And Antonio
it was
talked about it. It was, Chris.
It was.
When they were good, and I was there when Patrick Ewing and they were playing Reggie Miller.
When it really was.
And all that. It was a place to be every night. There's no doubt about it.
And I always said this, and they have renovated it. So it's a little better. It doesn't, like, the facilities don't really compare. Because it's older. And it's in Penn Station or above it, right?
On top of Penn Station.
Right. So it's hard. It's only so much you can do. So it doesn't compare in terms of state of the art stuff to the new arenas. But what it has, Rob, you mentioned it, they darken the lights, so the court is lit up, the crowd is not, so it's like you're on a stage. And the fact is, Rob, you got celebrities in the first, second, third rows and all that.
Peppered. It's peppered with celebrities.
Right. Big time rappers. Chris Rock. When I covered the team, Chris Rock was a regular. Spike Lee was a regular. And what was the guy from 60 Minutes? The
Ed
black
Bradley.
guy. Ed Bradley was a regular. Yep. And then you'd have rappers Fat Joe and
Did he have
Calvin
to buy 2
Klein.
seats or no? Fat
No.
Joe. No?
Don't let Fat Joe catch you out when he hears you said that about him.
I'm just asking.
I'm just saying. But it was that Seinfeld. That's what makes it, Rob. It's the biggest city in the country.
Woody Allen too, right? He used to.
Woody Allen.
Yep.
Yep. Right. But it's the biggest city in the country, and you got the stars there. That's what makes it so special to play there. And they do have the history. Now I say now, New York does not produce the great ball players that it used to. I think New Jersey actually is producing better players at this point. But the history is there, and Dr. J, Kareem, all those guys, Tiny Archibald from New York. So that's what makes it special. And Zion was excited to play there, Rob. And here's what he said when they asked him about it.
I'm glad you asked that, actually. New York is the mecca of basketball. I love playing here. When I played here in college, and this is my first time playing here in the pros, and I mean, this atmosphere, whether they're cheering for you, whether they're booing for you, it's amazing. Honestly, I think outside of New Orleans, obviously, I think this might be my favorite place to play outside of New Orleans. I can't even lie to you. I can't lie to you.
That's when David Griffin fainted.
Right. Oh, Lord have mercy. But he did. He was at least conscious to say outside of New Orleans.
Right.
He didn't just act like he didn't be like, oh, yeah, this is my favorite place to play, period.
It really would have been huge then.
Oh, right. At least he gave him that. He was smart enough. But, Chris, I'm with you. He sound like, somebody was standing to the side with lollipops in their pocket. You know what I mean? Like hello. He was so enthusiastic.
And I'm glad
and
you
he could
asked.
sound like a young kid, right?
He did.
He sound like a young kid who was really, really excited.
Now, I will say this, Rob, and like I said, he was giddy as all get out. So you got to admit that. But Antonio is right, Rob. To me, this is what stars do with New York. They wink at the Knicks. They flirt with the Knicks. They might even goose the Knicks. They whisper sweet nothings in the Knicks' ears.
Wow.
And then they leave them standing at the altar. LeBron, 2008, puts 26 on the Knicks in a Cavs victory. After the game, of course, New York, Rob. They're asking every good player. They're asking about coming to the Knicks and free agency.
They want a story, Chris.
Oh,
you know
my gosh.
They need a story. They need somebody just to say the right thing.
Just something.
And to get a
something
back page.
close.
Right.
Here's what LeBron said. July 1st of 2010 is probably going to be one of the biggest days in free agent history. That's what he said. New York was thinking, oh, my, oh, no. Then, Rob, a year later, he comes back, puts up a 52-point triple-double in another victory over the Knicks. And he raves about the Garden. It's the Mecca, the atmosphere, the fans, the history, the city. It's awesome. How'd that work out? Kevin Durant, Rob, half the NBA thought last year he was going to New York. How'd that work out?
No, he went to New York, all right, but he went to the borough of Brooklyn.
To Brooklyn. And the bottom line is this, Rob, and I think this is where you and I may part ways. Zion can next summer, 2022, the Pelicans will certainly offer him the max contract extension. And as I think Antonio said, there has never been a rookie or a star in NBA in recent history, who's turned that deal down. And so, Rob, because remember, you mentioned I think you're referring to a James Harden, passing up $100 million to stay in Houston. But Harden already had a few max deals.
No, I
this
get
will
it,
be now. I get it that Zion does have the Jordan deal, which pays him $75 million over 7 years. All right, he's got that. But this will be his first max deal in the NBA. I don't think he turns it down, Rob. But so I think this is a pipe dream. Now, could he end up with the Knicks in 7 years or in 5-6 years or whatever? Sure, possibly. But I don't think anytime soon he's going to New York.
I disagree only from this standpoint. Things have really changed the landscape, what players do. Harden could have easily signed that extension for all that money left on the table, decided not to do it. I've seen more and more people rescind guaranteed money and go on their way. And I'm not saying, Chris, it's automatic that Zion, but in this climate with these players and where the NBA is, I think somebody eventually will do that. And if it's Zion or somebody else, to finally get to where they are. If Stan Van Gundy's still there, if they don't make the playoffs again next year. I'm just giving you scenarios of where somebody can get in his ear and say, he's an impressionable young guy. Man, you got to get out of here, man. Anthony Davis, look what he did. He left and won right away, going to the Lakers. And I'm not saying the Knicks are equivalent to the Lakers and ready to win, right. But I'm just saying they'll make the case that leaving could benefit you. Kawhi Leonard left the Spurs, won right away with with Toronto.
Raptors,
I'm just saying, right, that I think that 5-10 years ago, Chris, I would be totally in agreement with you. I think the landscape has changed, and it's not out of the possibility that a guy does something that different and makes a selection that most would not see coming and change the game. I think there's a possibility.
I think, and you mentioned all these players that forcing their way out of places. They're veterans too, though, Rob. They're guys that have, had a max deal. They've given it, 6-7 years in a place and nothing's gotten better. They haven't won. They haven't come close to winning. I mean, Kawhi obviously won, but just won it out. And then they move on. Even LeBron gave Cleveland 7 years, before he left. He gave them a shot. So I think that Zion will definitely sign that deal. Now, to your point, could he sign the deal, play a few years on it, and if things don't get better, right, then he looks to, force his way somewhere. Maybe it don't have to be New York either.
No, I'm not saying
it could be anywhere. It could be, could be the Lakers.
Out of the realm of possibility that he could force his way out. That's all. Right. I just see the NBA in that light.
I'll say this, too, before we open it up to the listeners, Rob. And while I don't think it'll happen, certainly not anytime soon, look, I'm from Louisiana, all right? I'm a Louisiana dude. I'm Creole from Louisiana. No, I'm from Louisiana. Sure? Born in Baton Rouge. Parents met in New Orleans. All that, HBCU. Shout out to Xavier University. But you know this, right? I love to see Zion in New York. I'd love to see Zion.
All your family, they're texting you right now on your phone. They're mad at you.
But you know what I'm saying. New York, look, and they haven't been good in a long time. But, Rob, if the Knicks were legit, like a real contender, it would be better for the NBA. It's the biggest freaking city in the country.
No, I know. I get it. I get it. And it's been a long time coming. I don't know if it'll get there. It's gotten better this year, so a lot of people are happy that they're in the mix. They're gonna make the playoffs.
That's how bad it's been, Rob.
Yeah, but they're on a nice run okay. now. They've won 6 in a row. I mean, they're making a push, Chris, a real push. So I'm not gonna rip on them.
They're still behind the Atlanta Hawks. So I'm just saying.
All right.
Just saying.
Boy, you got a mean streak on you.
No, I'm just saying.
Did you hate when you covered the Knicks or something?
No, I loved covering the Knicks.
It was the Spreewell.
It was the Spreewell era when I covered the Knicks.
Oh, you were there.
You didn't know that was an era? The Spreewell era?
ERROR? Is that the Spreewell era?
All right. No, Spree was good for New York.